And when she realized I knew that, it was like, damn, this, because because they look at our skin color, they look at us, and they and I hate to say it, but they automatically consider us stupid, dumb. If not stupid or dumb, they consider us ignorant. And again, what is ignorance? Ignorant is not being stupid or dumb. Ignorant is not even, you don't even try to learn or try to know something. That's what ignorance is. You don't even listen to the other person to try to understand it or try to. That's ignorance. Stupid or dumb is not having the capability to even learn. That's the difference right there. You feel me? So, yeah, once they figure out, and it could go two ways. Like with my public defenders and my attorneys, when I start telling them certain things that I know, it always goes two ways. They either take it and help me, or they take it and they look at it like, who this nigga think he is? That's the two ways it always go. They either be like, oh wow, I didn't know that can help me, get through this case faster. Or they take it as, nigga, who you think you is? They take it as a slap in the face, but it's like, bro, I'm just doing your work. I'm just helping you get through this quicker. You feel me? Like, I'm gonna give you another example, man. Dog. So I had this attorney. His name was Clay Pinkerton, right? First of all, this nigga is telling me, if I say, you think the judge would go for that, or could you ask the judge this? How you gonna tell me? You can tell me based on situation that you had in the past what you think the judge might say, but you can't tell me exactly what the judge gonna say. Nigga, you got to try it at least. Fast forward all that though. That was already a bad sign. I like to tell people this: when you get your attorney and you ask them to do something, if they start playing moves like that, fire them. That's a bad attorney. Fire them because they work for you. Alright, so that was already a bad sign. Another bad sign I got, man, I'm getting the same plea. I got the same plea 3 times. It didn't go up, it didn't go down. Bad sign. He's not even negotiating. Alright, so boom, I get caught on my new charges, right? These mugs charged me with a possession with intent to I don't know. I had to start looking in the mirror at myself like that. Do I look dumb? I must be look dumb or something like that. Or maybe because I'm looking like a fiend sometimes, maybe. But that still don't say I'm dumb. Like I literally was looking in the mirror at myself like, I must be look dumb or something, yo. Like it got to be that. But anyway, so based on so back to what I was saying, so these folks gonna charge me with a possession with intent to distribute, second offense, for a .01 with the bag. Okay, first of all, I ain't even care about none of that. Why? Because I was on drug court. I knew I was going to prison for sure anyway. But I did care about that being on my record though, that particular charge. That's not what I should have been charged with was paraphernalia, to be real. But I'll take a position, you feel me? I'll take a position just to give y'all, just so we can leverage it out or whatnot. Anyway, they sent me my doggone plea for that. Quick, 70 days. You wanna know what it was? Let's just say I didn't have the drug court situation going on. You wanna know what my plea was they tried to play me with, dog? 2 years in prison. So my roommates looking at this, and you gotta think, we ain't got nothing but time, you know what I'm saying? I'm breaking it down to my roommates, we all laughing. I'm like, bro, they really think? And I got another story too, side story to go along with this about that boy Clay Pinkerton, man. And yeah, I'm saying his name because that nigga pissed me off, dog. That nigga did me dirty. I'm gonna tell you what he did to me. He did me dirty, dog. He did me dirty. So, boom, I called the nigga and I said, you know what? I said, check this out now. I said, I'm tired of sitting here. I'm trying to go ahead and go up the road. I said, watch how quick I get myself in court. So I called the nigga as soon as I get the plea. They said, what you gonna do? I asked my roommate, what you gonna do? I said, man, I'm gonna tell him I accept this plea, and when I get in court, I'm gonna tell the judge, hell no, and I'm gonna break it down to him why. They said, you gonna do that? I said, watch. Boom. I called the nigga, I said, yo, I just got my plea in the mail. He said, yeah, what you think about it? I said, I tell you what, can you get? I said, you can get me in court Monday or Wednesday. I go ahead and accept it. He said, you'll take it. You'll take it. Yeah, I'll take the 2 years. All right, great. Go ahead and sign it. Send it back to me. Blah blah blah. All right, boom. I don't think I signed it. I don't know if I signed it or what. I just sent it back to him. I don't think I even signed it. So we get to court that Monday or Wednesday, whatever day it was, right? I get in front of the judge, and the judge read off the facts of the case, and the judge asks me, is this true? Blah, 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 blah. I tell her, yeah, the facts of the case is true, everything except for the point that, no, that is not a possession with the intent to distribute. A possession with the intent to distribute would be a gram, and because they just had, they ain't even had no statutes for fentanyl. They had just really got the statutes for fentanyl. So I said, and basically, essentially, they use the same statutes for heroin. A gram or more is possession with intent to distribute, meaning you don't have to have it bagged up or nothing. If it weighs a gram, possession with intent to distribute. When you get to 3.5 grams or 4 grams, that's trafficking. You don't have to have it bagged up on the road, nothing. That's trafficking. And anything under a gram is possession, a regular possession charge. So, what the cops do is, and this is how stupid, and this is why the judges have, even when a judge signing off on something, you have to really break it down, dog. So what the cops do is they use another form of weight to make it look. So what they did was, all right, you see, I'm being charged with a .01. That's in grams. So they weigh it in grains, which will make that point go to the back behind the 1. So now it looks like 1 gram or 1 grains. So the judge being in a rush, he sees that 1 grains. I can see him signing off on that warrant. Boom, 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 boom. But it's our job it's their job as the attorney to see these files and break it down. Alright? So I get in front of the judge and I break that shit down to him. You know what the judge tell me? First he disagreed. No, Mr. Stack, but like I told my mom the other day, they got this book. And I can promise you, if you get that black book in your hand, you got superpowers. He looked and went through the book. And he said, you know what, Mr. Stackhouse, what we're going to do is we're going to sit you down for a second. Man, everybody in the courtroom, you know, it's a win for our side as the criminals or whatever you want to call us, criminals or whatever. Everybody in the courtroom, you know, they going crazy. Like, boy, that nigga just died away, bro. And I'm looking at him like, yeah, I told y'all, boy. Like, I ain't no dumb nigga, dog. I ain't stupid. So, boom, they sit me down. This nigga Clay Pinkerton, you know what this nigga gonna have the nerve to say, my nigga? Mr. Stackhouse, yeah, we made a correction. And I'ma tell you how messed up they is, dawg. I'ma tell you how messed up they is for real. Oh, Mr. Stackhouse, we made a correction. I got it dropped down. He's saying he did it now. Nigga, I'm looking at you like, nigga, you ain't did nothing but got me in this courtroom today. And I really did that myself too by finessing your ass. So he said, I got it dropped down to a position. Look at him. Let me tell you how crooked they is though. Let's just say I didn't have the drug court though. They gonna drop it down to a position, but guess what they still did? Gave me the 2 years. Come on now. How you gonna drop it down from a Pee-wee second offense to a possession first offense and give me 2 years for that, dog? That's how embarrassed and ashamed they was, because that's how I made them embarrassed in their courtroom. Alright, now that ain't even the grimy dirty part, right? So I did 6 months on the bench warrant, and I had to figure this out a long time ago, right? I figured this out a long time ago. Once again, like I said, when I'm telling y'all these stories, I'm not telling y'all based on what I seen. 9 times out of 10, I done went through it. I had to figure this out a long time ago, right? So Jay Rubens, that's why I try to say, boy, hey, look, them bench warrants ain't nothing to play with, because it get real tricky. When you bond out, right? You are essentially free. So any time that you were getting while you was locked up is cut off, right? When you get up, when they catch you on a bench warrant, meaning you skip court and they bring you back on that bench warrant, that time is essentially dead time, because in their system, the J. Rubin system, it is still classifying you as out on bond. So all them days that you sitting in the county, now let me make this very clear. If your attorney does not specifically ask the judge to credit you that time, you will not get it. Let me say that again. If your attorney doesn't specifically ask the judge to credit you that time, you won't get it. Boom. And I thought I was going crazy, but this year it verified it for me. So I'm telling Clay Pinkerton, I got 6 months, right, that I did on that bench warrant. That's 6 months. Man, if I would have equaled all my time, I would have went to Kirtland and came back home, right? I wouldn't even did that 15 months, 19 months of real about the rule. I would have went to Kirtland and came back home. I would have had 12 months in already. So I asked Clay, as I'm leaving out of that court, I got to go to drug court. As I get done with drug court, I said, Clay, I didn't hear you tell out of both of these judges, I didn't hear you tell them about the 6 months that I did on the bench warrant. Give me credit for that. Oh, it's all in your package. It's all that. He's mad now. He mad. That's why I say I'm putting that nigga name in here, man. Get him as a public defender. Fire that nigga, dog. Nigga ain't worth nothing. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna give you another story too after this. So, he fast taught me. So I went with it. I get up the road. I write classifications. I ask him about everything. Boom, he didn't give me that time, dog. So I did that 6 months where that plea wasn't changed for nothing, basically. Alright. Now, you say how you got it verified. First of all, this happened to me in 2014. I was young then, I didn't really understand it. It's a long story. I ain't gonna break it down for you. Just know that I started getting some understanding. So boom, when it happens to you a second time, you get a little bit more understanding. This time I got brought back on a bench warrant from Greenville, right? I get brought back on a bench warrant. I did 20 days on that bench warrant, right? When I went to court, mind you, I already got time served, right? I don't even need this fucking 20 days credited to me. But when I went to court, the stand-in lawyer that I had, he made sure that the judge gave me that 20 days credited to me on that bench warrant. That's how I know. And when I seen that, I got so mad from the last time, the Clay Pinkerton situation. Plus, I was already mad that I'm burned back on this bullshit ass warrant, time served anyway. Like how they treat, like, man, I'm already mad about that anyway. It's aggravating that. I just get aggravated, I get aggravated at myself because once again I was telling y'all about the rights. Once you messed up so many times and you did drugs and you doing stuff, you kind of take away the right for people to believe you and understand what you got to say. You know what I'm saying? You could be the smartest man in the world, but once you done messed up so many times, don't nobody want to hear what the hell you saying, or they don't believe it. But so yeah, I just got so frustrated, man. Seeing it just to the point like, that's crazy, yo. You gonna give me these? Thank you in your defense. Thank you, man, because you don't know, you ain't got nothing to do with it. But ain't no way you gave me these 20 days that I didn't need credited on this bench warrant, and that motherfucking pig looked like a damn pig. Clay Pinkerton couldn't. So boom, I'm gonna give y'all another example, right? My homeboy, he from Marion too. I ain't gonna say his name though, but we in the same pie. He asking me about attorneys. I pretty much know every attorney that's gonna be good or bad or whatever that you get, public defender. So he said Clay Pinkerton. I said fire him, dog. I said, why you got time right now? Fire that nigga. Man, no, Ace, I heard it good. I said, man, listen, bro. This don't tell you nothing right now. This don't tell you something, bro. That man made you go to prison instead of getting all your charges wrapped up in one. That man made you go to prison, do some time, then come back on these charges. Dog, do you know how long that man sat? That man, Clay Pinkerton, made that man sit in the county on them charges, dog. You think that nigga had a murder? 2 years on drug charges. 2 years. He finally, I don't, man, listen, I done got out of jail and came back to jail. I see this nigga and I say, bro, you still in here for that? He said, yeah. He said, boy, I ain't gonna lie, Ace, I just fired Clay Pinkerton. I said, boy, ain't no way it took. He said, man, 2 years. It took me 2 years, bro. I said, damn, boy. As soon as he fired Clay Pennington, guess what?